was our first doctor's visit last fall, and so we did the ultrasound, and turns out
she started laughing and said, "There's two," and Miles jumped up and down and was extremely excited, and I cried tears of joy and fear at adding two to our family when we had a 15-month-old at the time. So we went in the next week for another follow-up ultrasound because she didn't have a lot of time that day. The ultrasound technician saw that William had a lot of fluid, a nuchal fold on the back of his neck, and a lot of fluid around his body. I'm starting already. And she, they do the thing where they say we have to go and get the doctor. I can't really comment on what's going on. We had to wait for the doctor to get there. And she came in and said, it can be a number of different things, but none of them are associated with a really great outcome. We met with the genetics counselor first, and we're told it could be Down syndrome, it could be any other genetic condition, it could be potentially nothing, but that was extremely unlikely, or it could be a heart condition. And we were told that day that William would have a 20% chance of making it to birth. So it was an 80% chance that he would pass away in utero. And given that they were identical, that complicated matters because they share a blood supply through the same placenta. So we had a lot to digest that day.
Was it 3 months after that we really had confirmation that there was a congenital heart defect with William here, and we continued to monitor it. We were at 28 weeks at the time.
We were in Denver when I went into labor.
And just so folks don't think we're total derelicts, we did go to the doctor before we left to go to Denver. It was the first day that we were there, right? Was it the first day?
Second day.
Second day we were in Denver. Tara started contracting, and ended up spending 1 week in Denver at the hospital there. They were able to get the contraction slowed to a point at which the doctors were comfortable with us traveling. We were able to fly back to Iowa, but really it ended up being just in the nick of time because we stayed one night, spent one night in Iowa, and then the next day
the twins were born.
The twins were born
at 29 weeks and 5 days. And shortly after they were born, they obviously had complications just because they were so early, but they realized that William's heart condition, so what he has is pulmonary valve stenosis, where the pulmonary valve in your heart, which goes into the lungs, his was too thick, and so it wasn't letting the blood flow the way that it needed to. And so on his first day of life, when he was 3 pounds and 14 ounces, they went in to do a heart catheter on his heart. So if you can imagine, right now his heart's the size of his fist, and then it was the size of his fist, but his fist was extremely, extremely small. And it's just amazing that doctors are able to get into a heart that small, find the pulmonary valve, and do the catheter the way that they need to. And so he had that done on the first day, and that seemed to work for a while, but then he kept having the same issue with the valve being too thick. They would recheck it while we were still in the NICU. And so a few months later, he had another heart catheter done while we were still in the NICU. So through it all, what gives us a lot of comfort and why we became involved with the American Heart Association is that William is the picture of who can benefit from the research that American Heart Association helps to fund. Because if they continue to improve their methods, if heart surgeons can continue to improve how they can do things, even if he has to have a pulmonary valve replacement at some point, there's the potential that it could be done through a catheter procedure, and he would never have to go through open heart surgery and all of the risk that's there and the recovery and everything that goes along with that. So that's why we're so excited to be the passion story for this dinner, because you're looking at the person who benefits from the American Heart Association. William's given me a new appreciation for how important heart health is, because his has to work a little bit extra hard, to function properly. I think it makes Miles and I want to take care of our hearts and our family's hearts through, diet and exercise, and to make sure that that we're here, to take care of them.